Okay, welcome back everyone. Welcome to a new trading week. This is Jeff here with FXMindshift and welcome to your Sunday weekly review. So from the calendar, you guys can see here we've got quite a bit of red folders, mostly towards the end of the week. Wednesday we have FOMC meeting minutes, okay, not the press conference, so it's not the big FOMC event that we're normally used to. But Thursday you can see we have a bunch of PMI news, right, spanning from London session all the way to the New York session, right? Normally this is going to be a Friday news event, right, where we see Friday all the PMI folders. But this week and this weekend we have the Jackson Hole Symposium. Okay, so that's going to be the main event, this weekend leading into Friday and into Saturday. This is normally, where a bunch of big financial speakers get together in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and they talk about the state of affairs, of what's going to be happening and things like that. A lot of people are going to be tuning in. There's going to be a lot of speculation around this. Okay, I'm not one to dwell on fundamentals. Obviously, the way I trade, I wait for the releases to come out. I wait for the market to dictate, what the price is going to do, and then I kind of act on that. So we could spend all day here speculating on what they think, price is going to do, where it's going to move, and things like that. But unless it actually happens, I'm not really interested in it. I'm not really going to try to predict the market here. So that's going to be a big event. There's going to be a big buzz around that, and I'm sure the market's going to move accordingly. So we'll just wait and see how that plays out towards the end of the week. All right, but let's take a look at the charts now. We're going to see how things played out from last week into this week, and then see if we can make some of our own predictions as well going forward. Okay, so let's take a look at the dollar index. All right, so again, coming from a monthly top-downs perspective here on DXY, we can see pretty clearly. I mean, if you look at the monthly chart on any of the pairs that we'll be looking at, we can see a pretty clear direction in terms of where the monthly is going. And if you look at the overall bigger picture, obviously we're going to go down to smaller time frames, and we're going to try to speculate on moves in the smaller time frames. But overall, the bigger picture, if you have an idea of where the market's going, in the next several weeks or months, you can have a pretty good direction on an overall, kind of higher time frame bias. So for the dollar, as you can see here, obviously we're still moving lower. Okay, I have a target here. The monthly target which is that swing low just below here on the $100 mark. Okay, so we're gonna be heading towards that, and with the implications of the dollar moving forward into Q4 and September, they're going to be expecting the dollar to take a interest rate cut in September, which should move the dollar lower. And so that kind of fits in with the narrative right now that we're seeing here on the monthly. So I'd like to see dollar continue to go lower and reach for the low here. Okay, so this is around the 100.50 mark, right? We could even see go below the $100 mark, but that is where I'm going to be targeting long term for the dollar in the next foreseeable future. So should see a lower dollar going forward. That's from the monthly perspective. You can see that price is holding that structure there. We have seen the reaction and the move down. We can see big monthly candles, big bearish momentum. So this is likely going to be the target that we shoot for or that we reach for. So logically, we're going to be expecting the dollar to continue to move lower in the coming weeks. Okay, so let's go down to the weekly chart, and we'll take a look at the weekly and put up the weekly markups as well. So we can see that we're inside of this weekly range still. Okay, last we had taken out the lower end of the structure here and reaching towards the imbalance and the OB at the bottom of the structure, and we're still doing that. So the most obvious target for us right now is going to be that low here at 102. Okay, so we're gonna be looking for price to run below that next. Okay, trading into the imbalance here and the OB at the bottom of this weekly OB here and this structure. So this is where we're going to be headed, or this is where we're going to be targeting. So I want to see price continue to do that this week and move down. We might get a retracement up first before we do that, but ultimately we're going to be looking for the dollar to continue down towards that weekly OB down here below 102. All right, so let's drop down to the daily, and let's go to the daily chart here. All right, so daily chart, as you can see here, we did this nice little retracement back into the daily imbalance, right? And then we saw price come down after that. Now we're just seeing order flow continue to kick in and respect, the bearish order flow, which is making lower lows, lower highs. You can see the retracement here. Came back up, respected the high. We did not go above, right? And now we can see prices continued down. And now the likely target, as I said, coming down below the lows here, below 102, okay, into the refined weekly OB imbalance, which is now this daily imbalance here, right? This is going to be the area we target just below the 102 into the 101 region, right? So this is where I'd like to see that. And then the break of the swing low, giving us a new break of structure. Okay, so that's going to be the target coming down. Let's go to the 4 hour and let's get the refinement there on the 4 hour. Now we can see how the order flow has been respected on the 4 hour in respect to the daily. Okay, so as you can see, the pullback here trading into the nice big imbalance area, right? We take out the highs here and then we get this nice rejection and reaction and then this big shift to the downside, right? And then the continuation. So here we see price reject the OB imbalance here. Normally we would see, price maybe go higher, right? But because we're following the order flow here, you can see price is respecting the highs, right? And then now we're seeing price now go through the lows, which is what we'd expect from bearish order flow. So this low here next, okay, and then this swing low here below that. So we're going to see price continue to be bearish for the dollar, taking out that swing low below 102, and that is going to be our objective here going into the week. Now we could see the market open and price just go straight down. If we do, then we'll likely expect the pullback before continuation. Okay, but if we do see the market holding the low here before moving down below, then we'll probably see a little pullback first, back into some imbalance and respecting the structure and then continuing down. Okay, so either way, either we get a little pullback first at the start of the week, which is going to be our false move week beginning, and then we'll look for continuation down, or we'll see price continue straight through, right? Break through the lows. Once we take out the lows, obviously we're going to expect a pullback, once that happens, and then we'll look for continuation. Okay, so either way, we'll see if the dollar continues to run its way down below that 102 mark. All right, so that is for DXY. Going over to Euro Dollar next. Okay, so Euro Dollar from the monthly perspective, as you can see, I mean, it looks pretty obvious to me that the Euro is still bullish, right? And coming off of, a big bullish move last week. And you can see the monthly candle is still also a big bullish candle. And we're going to be looking for price to run the targets up here, right? So these are the most likely targets that we'll see first. Obviously, this one above 111, we'll call it 111.50. Okay, that's going to be the first target. That's where we'll target this week to see if we can get up there. And then obviously the one above that here into 112, right, and 113, right, and moving up the range. So still in kind of a monthly consolidation, but as I said, this is the type of the conditions that we're going to be seeing in the summer months, which is why we take our break during this month, which is why we slow down our trading activity this month, is because the markets are going to be consolidating. They're not going to be moving as well during this period. So once the fall kicks in, maybe we'll break out of this consolidation, and then we're going to start to see their trending moves again, and then we'll see Euro continue to go higher. That's at least the expectation anyway. But these are the areas we're going to be targeting, and we're going to be expecting Euro to continue to move higher, right, which is congruent with what we're expecting, because we're expecting DXY to move lower, right? So obviously we'd expect Euro Dollar to move up in contrast. So going to the weekly chart, okay, and the weekly range, okay, as you can see, the high over here, 111, we said 111.50, right? Just above that high is going to be the next target, next logical target. We saw price respect the bullish imbalance here after coming in, digging into that, right, taking out the lows. So we did a little liquidity sweep before trading into that nice point of interest there, that weekly imbalance, and then we can see the explosive move that happened afterwards and the move up. So we're going to be looking to target this high next. That'll be the next logical target above 111.50, right? And then we'll see if we can take out the high of the structure after that. right? So looking for the continuation. So going down to the daily chart, right, we can also see how the order flow is being respected, the bullish order flow is being respected on the daily as well. As you can see, the pullbacks into the big imbalances, right? We're not seeing price break any of the lows. We're seeing price continually making higher highs, higher lows here. The last imbalance here being respected as well, and then the push higher. So likely target above 110.50, going to be breaking through that next here, right? On the possibly in the market open, but maybe getting a pullback first. Okay, so let's go down to the 4 hour, and we'll see if we can get that more kind of zoomed in view here. So on the 4 hour, obvious break of structure, right? After the last break, price coming in, respecting the imbalance, and then the reaction, right? The big push up, change of character here, and then moving through the high is obviously we're going to be looking for price to do that. So again, if we see the market continue straight through, okay, that's probably a possibility. We'll see the market continue straight through. After taking out the high, we're going to be expecting a pullback into the range and then a continuation up. Okay, so there's obviously going to be some opportunities in there, either on the pullback, right, or the continuation, right, as we go through the week. But if it does not go through and take that high out initially, then we'll look for a small pullback first, right, and then we'll look for the continuation after that through the high. Okay, so either way, we can have opportunities to go higher, and depending on how we open the market and how it reacts first to this high. Okay, so we'll look and wait for that during the week. So that is euro dollar. Going over to GU. All right, so GU from the monthly perspective, like I said, the monthly pretty much gives us, a pretty good idea of the overall direction. I mean, you can see here that we are still in this nice little bullish consolidation. Everything is still moving higher, right? You can see price and the candles moving through each subsequent high of the wicks, right? So this is going to be the next area that I'm going to be targeting on the monthly here, the monthly imbalance that will be above the wick high here, which is above, looks like 131.50, okay, or thereabouts, 131.50, 132. Okay, that's going to be the next region that I'm expecting GU to go up to. So I'm going to be expecting longer term that GU continues to rise and go higher here, right? So the monthly is very indicative of that. Looks very bullish still. There's no indication on the monthly to me that we are, turning around. There might be occasional pullbacks, right? Just like here, we can have, little pullbacks in the range, in the move. But ultimately, we're going to be looking to see price continuing up through this high into this area here, okay? So if we drop down to the weekly and we take a look at the weekly range, we can also see evidence of bullish order flow being respected, right? As you can see here, the bullish OBs and the imbalances, each time we dip into making a new higher low, right? And then trading through the high, making a new higher low, respecting the OB imbalance here, right? And then now pushing through. This is the obvious target, the next target for us, the next high here, and that is going to be above 130.50, right? And you can see the nice big bullish candle we left off with last week. Okay, so we'll be looking to continue with the momentum from that this week and continue up through that high. So let's go to the daily, right? And we can see the daily momentum here is also very strong. Okay, so there's a last higher low here, trading into this daily imbalance area here, respecting the swing low, okay, after breaking the high. So retracement, this is a very nice, discount retracement from this range here, okay, which we would expect. And so now we're looking for price to go through the level here. We've got the nice change of character to confirm. We've got the nice big bullish momentum and bullish impulse confirming the move up. This is going to be our next target, right? Sweeping that high and taking out 130.50. Okay, so again, just like EU, let's drop down to the 4 and let's take a look at the structure on the 4 hour here just to confirm. We're going to be looking for price to trade into the next point of interest here on the 4 hour, which is this imbalance, but likely we're going to be seeing price go up and take out the whole structure completely. So this will be the next area. But again, when the market opens, whether we see price, just trade up into it initially, right? If we do see that, if price does trade up into it initially and hit this level, we're going to expect a little reaction, right? And a little pullback, and then a continuation up and through, okay? Or we'll see price react, come down first, and then give us a reaction. But either way, we're going to be looking for price to pull back, give us a continuation, and then a run through that high later on in the week. So look for or expect a move, you know, a retracement early in the week first, and then the continuation later on as we go, right? That's our false move week beginning, and then the continuation after that. So we'll be expecting probably a peak low or formation, right? A midweek reversal formation around Tuesday, Wednesday, around that area. So Monday, Tuesday, giving us that pullback. Wednesday, Thursday, maybe giving us that peak low, and then the continuation up, right? Obviously, that's all, you know, speculation. We'll see how the market plays out, but that's what I would expect price to do. And then the Friday, you know, Jackson Hole Symposium news, and also Fed Chair Powell speech and all that stuff will probably give us a nice look at how that does play out, and how the week will end, right? And if that will go into next week and play out like that. Okay, so this is our GU. Let's go over to gold next. Okay, now gold is very obviously bullish. I mean, you can see that from the monthly here, right? We didn't really even get much of a pullback here, but we did pull back into this little monthly imbalance, and we can see we've already made some now new all-time highs, right? Above 2,500. We've never seen gold this high before, so we're kind of in no man's land territory, and we're just going to keep continuing to you know, run the bullish setups here on gold, because there's no sign of stoppage right now. There's no sign of slowing down. I think gold will continue to rise, right? The monthly here, there's not really much we can kind of tell from this chart here, so let's drop down to the weekly. Right now, last week I was expecting a little bit more of a pullback here, you know, from the weekly, because we had seen price come up or give us a nice retracement. However, you notice that we did not get a change of character on the weekly, so that was a big indication that price was going to continue higher once we saw price, you know, loop back up, and we saw this big, you know, push, you know, back up above and give us this bullish change of character here. We saw that price, you know, went straight through the high. We didn't see a continuation. We didn't see price, you know, respect the high here and give us a move down further into the imbalance, right? We just saw price continue to hold the bullish order flow, continue to hold the low here, and we can see in each case, in each iteration, each pullback, right? All we did was make a higher low and saw push, you know, price push through the highs, right? So this next push here from last week was a very strong bullish move, right? We'll probably likely see a pullback from that, okay, after making, you know, new highs here and after reaching 2,500. So I'm going to be looking for price to pull back now, right, and then look for a continuation afterwards. But we'll see if we can get, you know, that pullback to happen, right? So if we go down to the daily chart, okay, 2,500 is obviously a big figure. It's a big number, right? And so we've broken through all weekly highs, you know, daily highs. So I'm going to be expecting a little pullback before we start climbing higher again, right? So I'm going to be looking for that to happen. Now, we don't have confirmation of that yet, at least not on the daily. We've just seen basically price break the structure, okay? So I'm going to be looking for pullback and continuation, but until we see, you know, some you know, exhaustion here, or a 3-bar swing candle, right, or change of character, I'm going to assume that price is going to want to continue to go higher, okay? So if we go to the 4-hour structure and charts here, right, not much to go off of. Last thing we saw was price came back into the impulse, the imbalance here, mitigating the swing high, okay, and the swing high is over here, and then we saw price go forward and through, okay? So depending on how the market opens and what we see, again, we might see price continue to just go straight through. Once we see the pullback, I'll be looking to capitalize on some of the pullbacks here, maybe back into the imbalance, and then we'll look for a continuation up again after that settles and runs through, right, and creates the higher low. All right, so we'll see if we get something like that similar this week. For gold, it's a little bit, you know, like I said, it's kind of in no man's land right now because we've never seen gold go this high. So, you know, certainly going to be looking for it to go climb higher first, right? And then once we see evidence of that pullback happening and that high being formed, then we can start to capitalize on the retracement, because there, you know, there's going to be a pullback after reaching, you know, all-time highs here on gold. All right. So we'll look for that, and I'm sure the Jackson Hole Symposium and the Fed Chair Powell speech will have a big impact on that in the end of the week here on Friday for gold, and also for NASDAQ. So let's take a look at NASDAQ as well. Okay, running over here onto the monthly chart for NASDAQ. Now you can see here on the monthly, we created this nice swing high after reaching, again, all-time highs here on NASDAQ, right? So this is kind of like a similar to the gold situation where we continue to make higher highs, pulled back, continued to make higher highs, right? So this is the last high that we made, and it's, you know, an all-time high for NASDAQ as well, over 20K. And then we had this nice big pullback. Now, I was expecting price to come back and take out the low here, but you can see that we've left this huge pin bar. It's a monthly pin bar here, and we've actually basically respected the monthly OB here, okay, and the reaction is still going. So for right now, I'm going to be concentrating on price continuing to go higher, at least this small range right here, from this high to this, the wick of the high here from the last move, okay? I'm really watching for price to go into this region here next, okay? And whether we break higher or we break lower, right, I'm going to be expecting price to at least make a move into this region first, right? So initially we'll be looking for price to go higher, right? And if it does break higher, then obviously we'll get a pullback and we'll see price go higher. But, you know, initially we're going to be looking for price to move, continue to move higher, based off of this nice reaction here from the monthly OB. Okay, so if we go to the weekly chart, and we'll just take a look at the weekly. This is the weekly OB here, right? We can see that we actually did sweep liquidity below this low. So there was liquidity taken, and we saw a nice big reaction back to the upside. So this is no implications of, you know, going short right now. You know, at the very least, we should be seeing price reach for the weekly imbalance here and you know, the high itself. Okay, so this is going to be my next target here for the weekly, which is this weekly imbalance area right here. Okay, and that's going to be a tiny little target here. Okay, but that is going to be where I will expect price to go to next. So this area here, which is just around, just below the 20K mark. Okay, so maybe we dip into the 20K mark again, one more time as a retest, and then we continue down. But initially we'll look for price to trade up into there first. Okay, so let's go to the daily. All right, and the daily swing high, okay, we're pretty much right at it. If you look at the high here, this is 19598.8, and the high over here 19593.6. So just below it, but basically equal highs. We're gonna be looking for price to trade through that. Okay, we have a nice little daily gap here, right? Little volume gap that we can see the price trade into, but here's the daily imbalance that we'll look for price to go up into as well. Okay, so we'll look for an initial move up into this area. Then we'll probably see a reaction here and then a retracement. Okay, but initially we'll look for that move up into that area first. Okay, and we can probably see that on the 4 hour as well. So here we can see the nice equal highs, right? That's going to be the target. We can see price has already traded into the imbalance here and given us a strong reaction. So likely we'll see price, if we can see price hold the 4 hour OB here at the start of the week. Okay, we might dip into it here. Maybe we'll get a little bit of a move down into it, but ultimately I like to see price do this and trade higher, okay, up into that imbalance. Okay, or as I said, we could also see price dip down below into the imbalance here, right, and then go higher as well. Either way, those two scenarios, that's what I'm going to be expecting price to do here for NASDAQ this week. Okay, once we get to the imbalance area here, I mean, we could go through it or we could react to it, but either way, we'll see what happens when we get there. But this is going to be initially what we look for first. All right, so that is the rundown for this week, guys. You know, the end of the week is going to be the Jackson Hole Symposium. That's going to give, you know, like I said, implications for the rest of the month, how we end the month, and then going forward, how we end this summer period going into the fall, right? So we'll see how that plays out for us at the end of the week, and then we'll kind of take it from there afterwards. All right, guys. Now, if you guys have not already subscribed, make sure that you guys are subscribed to the channel so you guys are getting, you know, these updates from these uploads that I post up. Okay, and also in the description there is a link to sign up for the free academy, the MindShift free academy, which I post these before I post them up to YouTube. I post them into the free academy, so you'll get an even earlier look at these videos if you're subscribed to the free academy, if you're not already subscribed. And if you want an even more in-depth, kind of analysis into, past the 4-hour, and if we go into the daily setups and the daily, trades that can be taken this week, then I would suggest that you guys sign up for the VIP. That's for a privilege that is reserved for my VIP students, right? Which we go into every day in the daily setups and the daily pre-markets. Okay, as of right now, this is the month of August, so we're in our break period, so those won't be going on as of right now, but obviously in September, when we come back and we start doing those again, those will be back up again in the month of September onward. So for those of you that are considering it, that's the VIP, right? But obviously, if you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, and if you guys aren't a member of the free content, I would advise you guys to do that if you guys haven't already. Okay, that's going to do it, guys, for this one. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and drop some comments below the video if necessary. Otherwise, good luck with your trades this week. Should be an interesting week, and we'll see you guys on the next video.